Alright guys, welcome back to another one. So we've finally got an update on the Kingdom Hearts 2 Remake project, a fan recreation of Kingdom Hearts 2 in Unreal Engine created by R3draw and a small team. It's known as Final Remix and it's been in development since 2019. If you guys are a viewer of mine, you'll know that I've been providing updates on this project for the past few years since 2020, and it has come quite a long way since then. R3draw's provided me with a bunch of new information about the project, including some good news that he is trying to get the project out by the end of this year, if not early 2026. It's a pretty big undertaking, considering this is a complete recreation of Kingdom Hearts 2. This is not a Kingdom Hearts 3 mod. A lot of people are constantly confused about this whenever I see John, R3draw, posting updates on this over on Twitter. Like I said, there is a small team of people who are working on this project, but it is mainly being developed by John. To explain how this is working, it's basically taking all assets and animations from Kingdom Hearts 2 and migrating them into Unreal Engine. Now, things like game systems, menus, the combat system, interactions, all of those will have to be recreated from scratch within UE. John has told me that right now, as it stands, the project is currently sitting at about the 60% mark, with most of the game systems already developed. Most of the time spent on this project over the past few years has been to do with the 3D models, ranging from character models, enemies, treasure chests, item drops. All of these have been taken from Kingdom Hearts 2 and further improved within Unreal Engine. And because Kingdom Hearts 2 has a ton of 3D models, this has been taking up a bulk of the time. The same also goes for maps, so all of the worlds, they're being ripped from Kingdom Hearts 2 and then further improved within UE. But even though the project is currently sitting at 60%, John has reassured me that he is confident he'll be able to release this and finish it by the end of this year, if not early next year. Now, I do find this surprising because most of the game events, the combat encounters, the story progression, hasn't actually been developed in UE just yet. I have seen a couple of examples, like the Twilight Thorn encounter, along with the 1000 Heartless battle, but again, he has mentioned that he's very confident that he'll be able to assemble the events within a year after the rest of the assets are done. Basically, phase 1 of the development of this project is coming to an end, which phase 1 consists of gathering all assets, models, and creation of systems. Phase 2 will then be the assembly of all events, and phase 3 will be fine-tuning, bug fixing, and polishing, along with additional content. However, what is probably the most important system to get right, especially if you're trying to recreate something, is the general overall feeling of the game. This includes both movement and the combat system. Now, I've tried out a few builds of this project, and one thing that's always stood out to me is while the animations are here for Sora's movement as well as the combos when looking at combat, the actual feeling of combat has always felt off. Now, back when I tried it, and this was 2 years ago, obviously these systems were still being worked on. But even looking at the most up-to-date build of the game from the footage that John has provided me with, the combat is still looking off. It's important that the hit registration, the gravity, and the weight of movement and combat feels one-to-one or very close to that of OG Kingdom Hearts 2. And I did ask John about this exact thing because I feel like it is the single most important aspect of this recreation. If this isn't done right, then the entire experience is going to feel off. Just to give you an idea as to where the combat system of the game is currently up to, this is exactly what John said. I'm aiming to make it faster and similar to Kingdom Hearts as close as I can. Revenge value is already coded into enemies, gravity has been pretty easy to manage. Right now, the game has a problem with weight. I'll be addressing this issue before release of the next build. The enemies get hit, but being shoved or pushed from attacks doesn't work well. It's like attacking a wall. The ability system is coded, and attacks work just like Kingdom Hearts 2 in regards to changing based on enemy situation, surrounded by enemies, single enemy, and distance closing, and of course, combo modifiers. It's good that he's aware about this because it is the core thing that absolutely needs to be perfected. Kingdom Hearts 2's combat system is the reason why KH2 is commonly regarded as the best Kingdom Hearts game. Where other Kingdom Hearts games do other things better than Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts 2 certainly dishes out the best combat system out of the bunch. Now, looking at cutscenes, I asked if he is planning on recreating all of the cutscenes, because as we know, Kingdom Hearts 2 has a lot of them, 13 hours in total to be exact, and of course there's 13 hours. It would seem that cutscenes won't be recreated for when the project releases, as this is something that is going to take a long time to do. Rather, this is something that might end up happening once the game has released. Basically, he's been able to transfer all of the animation data of the Kingdom Hearts 2 cutscenes into Unreal Engine. We see here a recreation of that Twilight Thorn cutscene with Roxas, but he's more so leaning towards just having the HD Remix cutscenes initially. Another really neat thing is this game is going to have its own custom launcher, which will make updating when updates are applied streamlined and easy. He's also wanting to make the game as modifiable as possible for those who want to create custom mod content for the game. So basically all assets are going to be made in Unreal Engine's .pack file format, which we know Kingdom Hearts 3 does this in a lot of UE games, meaning that for anyone that has expertise on UE, they can easily create their own content for said title. This project is also going to be completely open source once it's finished, so for anyone that wants to create their own custom version of recreated Kingdom Hearts 2, then they can do exactly that. There'll also be an in-game mod menu that players can play around with to activate a whole wide range of different things, like increasing health, giving out stat boosts, giving items, the classic cheat trainer type of stuff. This mod menu will also include a randomizer built in to quickly jump into KH2 randomizer action without having to download any additional files or play around with any additional seeds or codes or confusing stuff. So this project is offering a lot. This is almost like a dream of sorts, and to think that someone is actually actively working on making it a reality is a pretty cool thing. I mean, to see a lot of these familiar Kingdom Hearts 2 environments with proper lighting and updated visuals is pretty neat stuff. But it's a matter of if John and his team can actually create it to match an authentic experience of Kingdom Hearts 2. This could potentially be one of the coolest Kingdom Hearts fan recreations of all time if it's done right. However, there is one glaring issue that might not make this a reality, and that is both Disney and Square Enix. So we've brought this up every single time we've talked about the project, but we should probably talk about it yet again, and that is that if Square Enix or Disney want this project taken down, John will have no choice but to take it down. And this is something that John has brought up to me multiple times in the past. He's fully aware that if they wanted to, he has to comply. And yes, it would mean that years worth of progress would simply be flushed down the drain. Now, from my experience of being in the Kingdom Hearts community for as long as I have been, both Square Enix and Disney don't tend to have a problem with community created stuff so long as the person isn't receiving money for it. In this case, this is going to be completely free and open source. Yes, if John was charging for this, then the Disney Grim Reaper would have been at John's doorstep frame one. Now, that's not to say that there is zero chance of this project being brought down just because John isn't charging a few bucks for it. Yeah, Square Enix and Disney are absolutely in their rights to remove this if they so please. But this project has been a known thing for like the past going on 5 years now, and it has generated a lot of attention across both YouTube and Twitter. If I look at the 3 times that I've covered this, all 3 of these videos have generated over 100,000 views. I'm also not the only one talking about this too. So I kind of feel that if Disney and Square Enix had an issue with this, because no doubt at least one person across both of those companies is probably aware of the existence of this, then you would have thought they'd probably have shut it down by now. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when John and his team kind of get towards the end point, gearing up towards the actual release of this project to see what both Square and Disney do. Not gonna lie, it would be a little bit assholey to pull the plug right before the project is set to release, just because it's like, well, you could have done this at any point over the past like 5 to 6 years, and you decide to let them spend years of their life working on this, and now you decide to do something about it? Like any fan project created from a big brand or known corporation, this is always the risk you run. It's sort of like common knowledge now that you just don't do anything in the realm of Nintendo. They don't give a fuck, you'll get slapped for it. However, some companies are a little bit more lenient than others. I would say that the worry in this equation would be more so Disney than it would be Square Enix. However, for the time being, it's safe and it is still cooking, and it's another really cool Kingdom Hearts community created piece of content to look forward to for potentially this year. In fact, there's a lot of cool stuff currently cooking within the Kingdom Hearts community. It's sort of this situation of, if Square Enix aren't going to give us content, then it, we'll just do it ourselves. We've also got Kingdom Hearts Tears, a UE5 recreation of the final portion of 358 over 2 days, set to release this year. Kingdom Hearts Melon Mix, a heavily modified version of the Melon DS emulator, basically providing a remastered experience of Recoded and Days, which will soon, hopefully, be receiving its HD texture pack. A mod for Kingdom Hearts 2, which is basically recreating Days within KH2. And I'm also aware of a lot of exciting Kingdom Hearts 3 mods that are currently cooking. If you guys want to keep informed with everything going on with Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Remix, then John's YouTube and Twitter are in the description down below. Also, I have 3 other videos detailing Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Remix, so I'll leave those in the description down below too, in case you guys want to learn even more about this project. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. Be sure to slap that like button, it helps me out more than you know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, a big thank you to my patrons. I really appreciate the continued support. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll talk again real soon.